Yeah, can you hear
Hello.
me?
There we go.
Yeah, is my voice audible?
Yes, it is. That's correct.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let me check. So Brandon isn't replying. I mean, he yet probably.
No, it's this stupid these bloody time things, isn't it? I honestly forgot myself, but the clocks went back. Well, I think they went back for us. Yeah, they did, and it was like I
So
forgot. I didn't realize until this morning. I thought, oh no.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have known. I mean, I wouldn't have known if I was not talking with my friend, and she told me like, we had the like thing, and then yeah. Hey, Eric, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. That's good.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
not.
Why is that? What happened?
My electricity's been cut off, and I haven't got anything until tomorrow. So
Uh, that's always hard. I still remember last year we had a storm here and everything was cut out for like a week or something. It was
yeah.
disaster. Mm.
Not
Yeah. So
nice.
actually, yeah. Go on.
No, I just said it's not nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually, like I said before, Eric came in. I was talking about like the time zones. I think Europe. I think at least like they have this like 1 hour thing because of the daylight saving. So I miscalculated the time, and so Brandon seems to be sleeping still or something. Like he's away from keyboard. He
Yeah.
hasn't. He's not online yet. So I'll see. I have sent him the link, but he'll join. Yeah. So till Brandon joins, we can talk about Queen Bee. And did you guys read Wake the Dead? I know Eric did. Did you, Mac?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys can talk about Wake the Dead. I mean, just send me a notification on Instagram, Mac, when you're done, okay? Because I haven't read it, so yeah. All right.
What do you mean?
Oh, like when you guys done talking about Wake the Dead, just send me on Instagram like we're done. Then I'll join again because I'll just take it off.
Why? What's up?
Yep, nothing much. Let me check. Was there something?
Don't know. Eric's just gone.
Mm, connection issues. What? Yeah, so we're gonna start with Queen Bee, okay?
Where's Eric gone?
Huh?
Where's Eric gone?
I don't know. Let me check it quickly. Probably some technical issue. Hmm. Yeah, doesn't need any link. Let's see. Yeah, so what book did you read this week?
Um, I've read
Need
Wake
link.
the Dead, Queen
I haven't
Bee,
read it. Yeah, I was
Nanya.
saying. Yeah, I was saying, Eric.
Sorry about that. I forgot I didn't have my screen not to time out. I fixed that now, so it shouldn't happen again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear
I'm
you.
sorry. Yeah, actually, I also went to Twitter because the conversation ended here, so I had to send new links also. So sorry about that. Yeah, this thing is a little buggy, but yeah. Okay, so till Brandon arrives, we should talk about Queen Bee and Wet the Dead, right?
I guess. Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Yep. So let's start with Queen Bee. I mean, we have 6 chapters so far you've read, right?
Yes.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on like what's been going on first 6 chapters? What do you guys think?
I'm annoyed by book 2. I still enjoy it. It's still ridiculous in a fun way, but it's just a lot of the same thing that book 1 was. They haven't changed it at all. So I mean, it's still ridiculous, fun, and easy to read, but I wish they had changed it a little bit and added more to it, and just really, it's almost just a redo of book 1, just a 2-person contest instead of hundreds of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like when the Blades of Light and Shadow, their creator, they're talking about book two. So they're like you said, like people expect in a like a book two or book three that the whatever they had in book one and something more, like something special, like even in more amount and even something new. So yeah, I would agree with that. Like after since we busted Michael, we've been going in the same way, like that nerd Peter Scotch, I think, and then there's Bella Velvet. Yeah, it's kind of going the same way. But yeah, I agree with that. So, what about you, Mac?
To be honest, like Eric said, I'm just not interested in it at the moment.
Hmm.
I just I've made my thoughts clear about it last week, didn't I? And I cannot be bothered
Yeah.
to even talk about it anymore. I made my thoughts clear last week, and I'm not going to talk about it again. I just sorry if that sounded quite blunt, but like I do not want to talk about it. It's just I just it's yeah. I have no words.
Oh, like maybe what you're going for, like it's not what you expected, right?
Yes, I just don't want to. It's no. I thought it would be good, but no. I'm really not interested in it.
Mm, yeah. But last chapter was quite interesting because a lot of people were saying that we saw Zoe as a love interest, but we were not getting anything. Like Zoe was, if anything, Zoe was setting us up with a professor. Like she was working like a wing woman, but finally we get something of Zoe. Though like yeah, there are like critiques like Zoe's scene was with Poppy, who was not even a love interest and stuff, but still like something for the Zoe lovers. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but
Yes.
they treat Zoe like just like they treat Zoe like Poppy. Like you get plus Zoe, but you don't really like the fact that you had to choose between her and Poppy just it puts them in the same boat. Like they're both just people you can flirt with. I don't really consider Zoe a love interest.
Exactly. And that's really surprising because, as I remember, at the end of the last book, you can choose between the professor and Zoe, and you can be on this vacation on this beach with either of them. So I thought maybe after that, in book two, Zoe would have more clarity, or even like a slash scene with the professor. Instead, like the professor got back-to-back scenes. Yeah, Zoe got like but the point you said with Poppy. Yeah, it's something. I hope it improves as the book goes on. Let's see.
I don't think it will. I think it's just going to stay the same way. I mean, it's a
Well,
great book if you want Ina or Ian. Otherwise, I just, I'm not enjoying it as much as I thought I would.
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, I mean, the book is definitely unique, like you said. I mean, the way the ridiculousness this book gives you, like the fun stuff, calling people by who you don't know, just who are acting weird, something different. Like that's how probably a lot of us think in our mind. So it's like what goes on inside your mind, something, and like a late night vibe it has, like a comedy. So that's really special. But yeah, I like some things like the love interest thing and how the story is progressing overall. But hopefully, it escalates from here. Like something big happens. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yep.
And do you guys have any theories for X, Eric and
I saw a spoiler, so I know who it is, so I won't comment.
I think
But
it's pretty obvious. We said sorry about this for interrupting there, but
yeah,
I think it's. At first, I was quite suspicious of that Celine. I don't know. I'm British. I can't pronounce things properly. Um, but I don't think it's her. But there is one person I'm quite suspicious of, which I'm not going to say because if it is that person, then yeah, I'm just not going to say.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, with the spoilers I saw, I know who it is.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for it to be revealed. So I don't want to.
yeah, I know.
Can't really
But
give theories when I know who it is.
I know it really is. I know. I think it would have been fun if you hadn't known actually from the spoilers, like giving out theories, you know.
Yeah.
Mm. But so both of you read last chapter. I would like to think like like yeah, Mac. You mentioned Celine. I think her name. That I don't know, but yeah, that new girl. I mean, who is from
Yeah.
California and who likes to
Yeah.
surf. So
Yeah.
you expressed your concerns about her. So I would like to
Mm.
ask both of you because I don't know like on what context that was like because Celine enters the pool club or whatever that is, and everybody was fawning over her because she's from California. Like somebody exclaimed, "quote She's a chick and she can surf." End quote. So. Then Poppy says, "Oh wow, look, she's stealing your spot and something." And then we have an option, which was I thought just before the hookup scene, with either Zoe or Poppy, that we could either be a bad girl and like really put Celine to her spot, which was, or we can be a good girl or take Celine under our arm. So, what did you think of that? Because I didn't realize that was that much important, unless like you're saying Celine has something to do with the plot, or like how did you perceive that? Both of
I I think she'll probably end up being one of the people who's working for X, and then how you interact with her will depend on whether she like defends you and reverses, or if she just keeps pushing for X.
you? Interesting, yeah, because they do say like at the end we are gonna have in the hit list someone who we need to swing in our side to win over X. Yeah, it says
Yeah,
it.
I think she'll be the person that ends up. You have to how you act towards her is how whether she'll stay with X or switch to your side.
Interesting. Yeah, Matt, what do you think? What was the significance of that scene to you?
I don't know. I've actually seen spoilers as well for the book, and to who X is, and I'm not going to lie to you both. The I- I've seen the hit list as well.
Wow.
So, and so far, every character, what the person's like gone into the files to see, has been correct so far. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah, that's why I'm not going to say my theory on that at the moment. So,
I know, no, that totally makes sense. Like, I don't know who the hit list is, but I do know who the dean is. That's why I can comment on my thoughts on the hit list because I haven't seen it. The only spoiler I've seen is who X is.
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, to be fair, it's better to not comment because then if you comment, you give away too much for people who don't want to know.
yep.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. The suspense is sometimes important, but like right now, I'm saying the unexpected errors. So the suspense. I'm in chapter 11, but I'm liking the suspense because I still don't know who the killer is, and it's quite interesting. So yeah, I would agree too. Yes.
Wow.
Um. So I think that was about Queen Bee, and wow. Also, one thing. I think Fatima from America's Most Eligible. She made a cameo in the chapter. Not the last week's chapter, but the week before last week. In that chapter, she made a cameo, and the chapter was quite like America's Most Eligible, and something like what do you guys think? I just want to know your opinion because I was rereading America's Most Eligible. Now I know there's a huge difference between Jen and Zoe, but still, I kind of found when I was reading the initial Jen characters, I kind of find like Jen and Zoe are the same, and the books are different, but kind of in some place, specifically in that chapter, it was kind of like America's Most Eligible. What do you guys think about that?
I think there's a huge difference because at least Jen actually becomes a love interest. I don't
Yeah,
get that sense with Zoe.
yeah,
No.
I feel like the book was written. It almost feels like like Queen Bee was written as a single love interest with
Yeah.
hmm
flings, and then they decided that they needed a second love interest for some people. I almost feel like it would have been just better to have a single love interest and then just allow you to have flings with other people, which is basically what it is at this point.
yeah, exactly.
Ina or Ian's the single love interest, and then you can have flings with Poppy, Zoe, Carter, Veronica, Chloe. Whoever you choose to have a fling with, you can do that, but you have the single love interest.
Hmm. Yep, that's how it's gonna be. Yeah, I think that was how it was supposed to be. But I think Zoe became like a fan favorite, and then I think they promoted her to the love interest posse. But again,
Well,
book two and
they had the like early on in book one, you had to plus Zoe, like when you flirted with her, like right from the beginning of. So I think she was. I feel like they put her as a love interest, but they don't really give you the scenes to really
okay,
make her a love interest. It doesn't really make sense how they're doing it. I don't really understand the why they did it that way when they don't treat her like a love interest. They treat her like a
right.
wingman for Ian or Ina.
Hmm. I know exactly. Matt, your thoughts?
Um, what was that again? Sorry, I was just dacing out
Oh,
there.
I know, like Jen and Zoe, and then like Amy, and like what Queen Bee. So we were drawing just parallels between these, like if they're similar.
Do, do you know what? I want to comment, but I can't because I haven't read the America's Most Editable in like a year and a half, so I can't exactly comment on it. So, and to be honest, Jen's not the kind of love interest, if I'm personally honest, who I romance. So I can't exactly comment on that. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Okay, but you should totally finish America's Most Rachel. Like, wow, like you should totally do that on your free time. You're not gonna regret it. That much I can guarantee you.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so now coming to Wake the Dead, I think that was about Queen Bee too. By the way, do you have anything else to add, both either of you?
I'm good.
Nope,
Okay,
I'm
okay,
good as well.
okay, that's cool. Okay, so now Wake the Dead. I mean, I have personally not read the book, but I have seen like some of the playthroughs, like specifically the thumbnails for those playthroughs, and I have heard a lot of people talking about some characters making cameos there. Definitely, there's Sprite, not the original characters, but also the music, spooky. I've heard about it, and the way they did the graphics and art shots for the zombies, it was really spooky. I saw and a really awesome book, Web the Dead. So you have read it. So what's your input on that?
Without dropping spoilers for people who haven't read, I definitely
Yeah.
feel like it's the best first two chapter opening to any book I've read for choices. It's hard to. I don't want to give spoilers because I know like half the people I interact with on the fandom haven't read it because they don't have VIP.
Hmm.
So trying to walk that line without dropping a spoiler, but it's definitely the best first two chapters I've read in any book.
Yep.
That's really good. I mean,
The music's amazing.
yeah.
The CGs were really well done, and just it hits you right away for right from the start. You have action right from the start of the book.
Hmm. Right. I mean, I mean, when you talk about first chapters, so of the supernatural books available, the first chapter I liked was the Nightbound's first chapter. I liked quite, I liked it quite well. So, would you say it was even like, even like an extreme, like even like topper than that?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of the first chapters in other books, like whether it's Blades, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
Nightbound, It Lives, the first chapter's all a lot of just story, getting to know people, and they don't do that. In this book, you jump right into the action. Like they don't even waste time learning about the world, like what the world is. You start with action right away, and
Uh,
it's the first book that I felt like choices in the first chapter or two actually mattered and made a difference to the
wow,
story. Like
wow.
there's consequences to your choices right away, which I've never seen in like yes, you see it in like It Lives because you have to have like the
Amy,
nerve,
yeah.
but you don't see the consequences of those choices till the end of the book.
Yeah.
This book, you see the consequences right away.
Awesome, awesome. So if I tell you like in that order, like if you have read the first two chapters, so if I tell you to organize in order in terms of which one is the most standout, like which one stood out to you the most, like spookiness, music, graphics, like the zombies, and the love interest. So how would you like organize that?
I mean, the spookiness and the music would probably be the top. I mean, you have. I mean, it's only two chapters in, so you really haven't established the love interests. Like you know who they are, and you
Yeah.
get like your first chances of like flirting with them and getting to know them. But it definitely hasn't been long enough into the book to really judge on what the love interests are going to be like yet.
Interesting.
But
And
just the atmosphere that the book creates is just really well done.
yeah, I know. I've heard about that. Yeah, but it's still a long way to go. But still, from the look of the surface, who probably is going to be that person you're gonna go after as a love interest? Felicia.
I mean, right now it's still too early for me to choose. Like, there's definitely, um, I think it's just too early for me to choose right now because I don't even think we've seen all the love interests yet. Because I'm pretty
Nope.
sure there's another one we haven't met yet, based
Yeah.
on images that Pixelberry has
Yeah.
released. I think we've only met three of the four love interests.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Mac, what's your thoughts about Wet the Dead, the first two chapters? You read it too, right?
Oh, how do I not spoil this? I agree with Eric on 100%. Like, it is the best first two chapters I personally ever read as well. You get right into it's. I don't want to make this comparison, but it's better than the first two chapters of Shipwreck. That's for a fact. I'd wait till we get onto that book. I hate that book. But honestly, the best first two chapters I have ever read on a book, and that's saying something. I mean, me and you, like we've read this other book, haven't we, called Devil's Deal? I
Oh
will
yeah.
drop a bomb to you now. It's the first two chapters of Wake the Dead are better than the first two chapters of Devil's Deal.
Wow.
That's how good it
I'm
is.
waiting for December. I'm waiting.
But honestly, I can't really comment on the love interest either because we've only met. You know the names, don't you, Ania?
Yeah,
Dan?
yeah, Troy.
Yeah. Troy, Eli, we've met. Shannon, we just haven't met the other one yet. So, like I said, I can't really comment because, yeah.
Yeah, there's
But
more to
to
see.
now, yeah, exactly.
I mean, usually my first playthrough, I usually play the woman the woman love interest. So I mean, if I had to choose one of the three, I'd probably say Shannon. But
Yeah.
that's still not set in stone because
Mm.
I haven't met the fourth
Yeah.
love interest, and you haven't had enough interactions with the three to really decide yet.
I agree. Yeah. And from the look of the surface, Troy and Shannon are the ones for me too. But yeah, like you said, like there's like I haven't even read anything about them, but just from the character descriptions it's already dropped, I just like Troy really, our best friend, and Shannon. But yeah, we'll have to see how this goes.
Yeah, and it's I can't think of another book that had such a big cliffhanger in chapter two.
Wow.
Wow.
Like I've read every Choices book, like I've read them all, and I can't think of another one that had such a good cliffhanger, such an emotional cliffhanger
Wow.
right from the start.
Hmm. Interesting. So, Mac, if you were to rank like the book from the first two chapters in terms of like spookiness, music, the love interest, and like the zombie art plot, the plot, etc., how would you organize these four in terms of like
It's got more
best?
plot than Shipwrecked. And none of fair, but that's to say. No, but seriously, the artwork is number one. Like the artwork, I think as well. What I didn't expect, if I'm personally honest, the fact that the zombies actually have proper sound effects as well. Like, and I was personally shocked about that as well. But the artwork, the sound effects, I just, it's honestly made me speechless because it's. I didn't expect it to have this much action in the first two chapters. I really did not. But you
Yeah,
know,
like I think I would put I would kind of combine the art with the sound because they kind of go hand in hand.
Yep.
Because just
Yeah.
having art, if you don't have the music to support the art,
No,
then it can fall flat. It's just and then it's just a CG.
100%, 100.
So I think like definitely the way the art and the music sets the atmosphere is definitely the best thing about the first two chapters, and then plot and then love interest would be my third, just because we haven't had enough interaction with the love interests yet.
Understand.
And I kind of hope I hope it's not romance driven. I'd rather it be. Yes, I absolutely I know they have to have the romance. It's not going to be a choices book without romance, but I
know.
hope it's like Blades. Like the romance is good in Blades of Light and Shadow, but it doesn't drive the story.
Yeah, the heist Monaco, you have like hookup scenes, romance, everything, but the plot is like even there, like everything is there.
Yeah, like I'm hoping they let the plot drive the story rather than the romance drive the story.
Yeah.
Which is what they've definitely done so far. Like it's definitely not like you haven't had any hookup scenes yet, which I love. I love that
Yeah.
it's letting you it's establishing the plot and the drama first,
I know.
which I
Yeah.
hope they continue.
Yeah. Even though it's like a mature book, but I hope like because I think it's going to be just like It Lives or any other books, like plot based,
Yeah.
and then like you said, yeah, it's going to have romance scenes, and just like in Heist Monac, we had like 4 or 5 back-to-back hookup scenes, but at the end, in the last chapter, so it's something like that would be there, but not like that is not going to be the main attraction, but it's just going to be a like a side note. Right, just to relax from the whole zombie attack. So that would be good.
Yeah, like I know, like with Shipwrecked, it's I enjoyed it at first, and then it's just right now it's just every scene's just hooking up, and it's just like
Thank you.
this.
Sorry, look, I know. I'm sorry about this. I know I've only met you, Eric, but I'm thankful somebody actually agrees with me here. Honestly, it is. Yeah, I am
No,
speechless
it's
about that.
like I liked it at first, and now it's just like I think right now I think I'm like 2 chapters behind, just because it hit that the beginning was good, and it's like, oh, maybe there's a little bit of mystery. They found something that what is this? How did that get there? And then it's just the two people hooking up every chapter.
Yep.
And now I'm bored with the hookups. I'm like, something else has to happen in this book, or it's going to be a bad book.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, when they make like this kind of steamy book or smut book, and this is just like a two-way sword, because it's just like, and specifically if I think we're having this conversation, specifically if it's single love interest, because if you just have to stay and romance and sort of hook up with the same love interest throughout the 20 chapters, at worst 2 books, the worst 3 books, then you need to really love your love interest. So I think if you love your love interest, then you would want 100 books. I mean, just speaking. But if you don't like the love interest that much, then it's going to be hard, because if there is like not much adventure plot and it's just about the romance aspect
I
and
mean,
yeah.
I'll push back on that a little bit, because like you look like the Royal Romance. Like Hannah's one of my favorite love interests in the app, but I was ready for that series to end like 5 books ago.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like there's only so far you can drag out a plot. Like I can love the character and still want the series to end.
Yeah, it's good for a book to end on a good note rather than ending where where nobody really likes that. I agree with that. Yeah.
Like I know there's still people who love the royal finale, but like the royal finale is just it's so boring to me. I'm just like, I don't care about any of this. Like I just want you to have a nice ending where you just let the characters be happy instead of you're dragging me through what you're doing in this book.
I know, but yeah, but it depends. Like I had this conversation with someone on YouTube. Like they seem to be diehard fan of Royal Romance, and they even said like they're really sad the book is ending, and they want another book from the point of view of the heir, where
Oh
she grows
God,
up and
no!
she has
Just
love
let it be
interest and
done.
marries.
I mean, that's what I thought the royal here was going to be. I thought it was going to be from a new
Yeah,
character, and then it's just the role here, and like it just ruined everything about the characters. None of it makes sense.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I think, like also talking about this a couple of weeks ago. Like I said, like someone would like something to end, or someone would say like, "Nah, it's just enough." So I think the best is like if they, I know like the popular books, they want to give them a sequel so that people keep playing and they have the original fan base for that particular book. But I think as a writer, they would know the best, like which book would survive or thrive if they give it a sequel, because when they're writing, they're already planning what will happen, and then like if they're just giving it a book two, I mean, I'm not saying it's just gonna fall flat if they hadn't originally planned to give it a book two or book three, but I think it would be for the best, because a lot of books would get a book two, like Disney shows and stuff, if they are actually planned a book two in their mind, and then they stopped because it was not much popular. And books where they hadn't actually planned a book to, but then it became so popular they had to, give it spin-offs of the spin-offs. So I think if writers would go for at least 90% books, what they had originally planned, like while brainstorming it, that'd be good, I guess, instead of just going by the popularity.
Yeah,
Just a thought.
I mean, if you look at like Open Heart,
Yeah.
so like the first book was really well done. I enjoyed the first book, and then the second and third book was written by different people and who didn't understand the characters. So they forced a sequel, and they just weren't good books, and that's why you can't you can't really force a sequel, especially if you're going to change
Exactly.
writers, because then you're gonna have a really good
Problem.
first book, and I think that would have happened with Ride or Die as well. Like I mean, personally, I don't care for Ride or Die, but I know it has so many fans, and I think they would have. It's really a lose lose situation for Pixelberry, because either they cancel it because the writer doesn't want to do it, and then people are mad that they canceled the sequel, or they put out a sequel that people hate, and then people hate on them for ruining the series. So it's a no win situation for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a good decision. Like with the hero, they said the same thing. Like the artwork was not there. They didn't have the money at the first, and when they had the money, it was not the same. And I think Mark or someone who is the Chloe, I forgot his name, who is the head of the content. He said like it's like they didn't want to give us something like you said, which would not be rightful like a successor of the first book. So yeah, I think that's justifiable. But even like they do give sequels to some books like that are oh well, oh well. Mm.
Yeah, like
Yep. So,
I mean, with Hero, they waited way too long. And the only thing that really bugged me about not getting, I mean, it bugs me that we don't get a sequel for Hero, but that they kept just saying it's coming, like instead of just
yeah,
being honest and being like, you know what, it's not going to happen.
I know this loop. They kept us on the loop for so long. So I forgot what were we talking about? I mean, what was the main thing?
We started with thoughts on Wake the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wake the Dead. Yeah,
It kind of went off because we can't really talk too much about it without spoiling it, which is what we didn't want to do.
yeah, but yeah, it was fun. Like a lot of good things to talk about. But yeah, Wake the Dead. So yeah, anything else to add? Who was saying something? Eric or Matt?
No.
Not really too much not really too much more we can add, because if we add anything else, then we start ruining the story for people, and I don't want to do that. I like even like I said on my Twitter, I'm not going to be posting screenshots for Wake the Dead or anything, because I really feel like people should go into the book knowing as little as possible.
Ex- Um. Okay, so taking a screenshot is like I have a like it's just a I don't know like how you get choices, but first I just want to ask you guys a question. Like, how do you play choices? Like when you play on your own for yourself, do you like read it out loud, or like read in your mind with the music on, or just maybe read out the part the main character has, like the main character's dialogue? How do you read it?
I do not read out loud. I think that would be weird. The only time I'll read out loud is if I'm streaming on Twitch.
Okay.
If I'm just reading it myself, I just silently, like same way I would read a book.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting to know like how different people read. 'Cause I read like I used to read like out loud, and now I don't read because it gets like a lot of books, and it's just impossible to read some of the books out loud. And just I read in my mind, and just the main character dialogues I read like out loud, and I would like act them as if I were like in the. So it's I like to do like this. I find this really fun. So yeah.
Like for me, like I'll read it, and if I reach a point that's funny, I'll take a screenshot and jump over to Twitter and put the comment out, so I can joke around with people in a friend, like in a kind way. Like I don't like yes, I like mocking choices, but not in a way that's mean about it, because I know like they're doing the best they can, but if it's something ridiculous, I'm gonna mock you in a friendly way.
Yeah, criticism.
So usually I'll read it, jump over to Twitter, post a bit, and then jump back to the story. The only one I've had, like I said, the only ones I haven't done that for, where I just read it, was Blades and now Wake the Dead. It's just they kept me entertained enough that I stayed on the app, read the full chapter without jumping between apps.
Interesting. So, then after that statement, I'm gonna be waiting even with a beat it hard for Wake the Dead. December can't come sooner. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Well, once it's released for everybody, I'll definitely have lots of thoughts on Wake the Dead by then.
Definitely. And the main book would also, progress to halfway through. That would be interesting. So, Mac, how do you read usual choices?
To be honest, if I do, well, I actually can't because I have a 12-year-old brother. I've got my mum living with me still, so it's like imagine reading out the Nanny Affair out loud. No, 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 thanks.
Oh, that would be so awkward trying to read that out loud with my mom in the room.
Yeah. What are you reading, Mac? Huh?
I know it's like my door's been ripped off as well, so I can't exactly say some vulgar stuff to say. It's like no, but being realistic though, like I just, if I'm honest, I actually read it with my headphones on, just with my headphones on, and just silently read it. To be honest, and if I'm honest, the longest I've read choices, oh god, it was from about 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time GMT till about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning reading a book full without doing anything else. So yeah, I'm a bit crazy for that. But yeah, I just read it silently with just my headphones on. Sometimes.
Yeah, I do it with headphones as well for the music.
Yeah, I know. The music's are like the heart of choices because I've tried out a lot of apps, and Dreams I think has good music, but the Choices music, I mean, I have not found out an app where they have as good music as in Choices, or even the art scene, like not the art shots, but just the background even. Like the Big Sky Country was the book where I loved the backgrounds and the music also. So yeah, I mean that's just something special about Choices. So their music is like spot on.
I think Love Struck. I don't know if either one of you have played Love Struck, but that has really good music and art.
Love Struck, I've heard about it. Love Struck.
I mean, it's more of just reading a story because your choices really don't affect the story at all. It just affects the dialogue. I mean, the stories are great. It's one of my favorite apps, but I wouldn't play it if you want an app that your choices actually matter.
Okay. I know how it goes. Okay. So I don't know when Brendan is going to come because there's still no news from Brendan. But till he comes, we can do something called have or haven't done that. So I'm going to tell you something, and you guys have to tell me if you have done that. It definitely it's related to choices, or haven't done that, and it's just not for any particular book, but it's just from all of our choices. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. The first thing I think everybody has done that. Taking a screenshot of an art scene.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I did that last week for Wake the Dead. It's just sitting in my pictures. I just didn't share it, but I took it.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
absolutely have the one for Hannah for the new CGs for Rural Romance Book 1.
See?
The one of her walking under the water.
Yeah. Interesting. Mac, you also took some screenshots?
Yeah. The most ones I've taken in a series is probably It Lives. The most recent one, actually, to be honest, non recently because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So I thought, even if I do take the screenshot, knowing me, I'd probably post it. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So, most recent one, I'll have a look now. Sorry.
And I've
Well,
taken a lot for
ooh,
TNA, but that's just so I can go on Twitter and mock it.
yep, yep. Sorry, I agree with that as well. Mine was on the 29th of October at 1806. Well, like six, just after it got released in my time. The one where Will You Marry Us? It's like that one probably. So.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. So I have also done taking screenshots of our since a lot of times. Yeah, I think we've all been there.
I mean, talking about choices on Twitter or whichever social media you use. I mean, that's really half the fun of playing.
I know.
Yep.
And specifically, I mean, I'm not saying that Twitter is bad, but Instagram. Oh my God! I mean, this is just the it's the breeding house for choices fandom because it's just I mean the artworks they do there, it's just so much creativity, even fanfics. And I know someone
Wow.
got like Jordan freaking Valentine, like she has open heart fanfics and stuff like that. I mean, they're even better than books, even like short stories and stuff and
Yep.
poems that people write. It's just crazy there. I mean, I don't know, like it's so interactive there. It's something outside of the app. It's just that is so you can enjoy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just definitely. Of course, like talking about choices on Insta, like on Twitter, and like you said, like if you like take a screenshot and say something funny about a particular chapter in the marking tone, and then just laughing out loud along with that, it's just all part of that. Second one is, uh, has it ever happened with either of you? You wanted to choose one option, but pressed on the wrong option, and you chose something else that you so didn't want to say or choose.
Absolutely. Like for me, it's mostly I'll hit a diamond choice that I didn't want to take.
Yeah.
I know.
So many times I hit like for a story that I don't care about a love interest, and I hit the diamond choice, and I'm like, no, I don't want this scene.
Sucks.
I don't care.
I know. It happened with me when I first started choices. I started in A&E, and I wanted Jen to be a love interest. After a long time, she does. And the first scene cost us 19 diamonds, and I didn't have a single diamond. So I started playing the first chapters of every available book. It took me 1 or 2 days, and then I had finally 17 diamonds. I needed 2 more diamonds. I was going through a book, and I suddenly, while just tapping through the game, there was a diamond option for 15 diamonds, and I pressed on it, and I completely lost almost all the diamonds I collected. I was so like angry and like disappointed at that, but I didn't, of course, give up. Again, started playing, and then finally got the diamonds. So yeah, it's annoying when it happens. This is Matt. Has it ever happened with you? Or you're calculating?
Sorry about that. My mum just called me. But yeah, I think what was on about. I wouldn't say I pressed the wrong option, but I've regretted taking a scene which I thought was supposed to help us in Laws of Attraction with Gabe. Um, I thought it was supposed to help with the case, but it ended up turning out it wasn't even note to do with the case, and it was like, well, what have I just wasted all these diamonds for? But honestly, no, I've not. I've not really picked an option. No, I've not done that.
Yeah, most time it's for me. It's if it's a book that I don't really care about, like my first two loves where I just tap through and then I'm like my finger hits the wrong button, or
I know.
Witness where I'm just like,
All the
no, I'm
time.
not. No, I don't want
Oh,
to hook up. I don't want to pay to be nice to somebody, and then I end up hitting it by accident. Um, like if I'm actually reading the book, it hasn't happened. It's only happened on books that I'm just tapping through to try to get the diamonds at the end, and then I hit it by accident.
I know.
Like there was a
So
scene in Witness that I took by accident where you're in a van and you're being driven by somebody, and um the bodyguard, if you take the diamond scene, she ends up going down on you in the van. I'm just like, I don't care about this. Like, I don't want to take this scene, and I took it by accident.
yeah. The worst part is you lose sometimes.
But absolutely, I've definitely also taken scenes where I'm like, I think this is actually going to give me something towards the story, and then it ends up being just a romance scene with somebody I don't want to romance.
I know. And even sometimes, I spend diamonds, but I don't actually get what I actually wanted when I spent that many diamonds. Yeah,
Yeah. Or you take the scene and it's just disappointing. It's just not
yeah,
a good
exactly,
scene.
exactly. Has happened with me. So, yeah. Okay, the next one. It's kind of along the same lines, but even more hurtful. Finished the last chapter, wanted to play a game, but pressed the end book by mistake instead of pressing on restart chapter. So that means you have to go through 15 or 16 chapters to play the last chapter. Has it ever happened with you?
I don't think it has for me because
nope.
I don't usually want to replay a chapter right away. Um, I mean, it does it. The thing about choices that annoys me later on, because usually I don't want to play the chapter right away again. But if I want to go back and play that chapter, I hate that I have to redo a whole book. Like I wish that
Exactly.
they
Yep.
had the option, like there's other apps like Love Struck. I can go to any chapter I want and just spend a ticket to play that chapter. Um,
Exactly.
I hate that you have to, like, if I want to go back and replay a chapter later on because there's a scene I like. I hate that I have to read the whole book to get there.
I know. I wanted to read the last chapter of My Two First Loves, but it's my dream. Like I can't do that.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever ended a chapter or a book when I wanted to replay because I usually don't want to replay a chapter right away.
Uh, Interesting. Like that happened with me when I was playing before with the book. Same as Secret. I ended up with going back to New York. I didn't have enough timers. So I had to restart the book to choose the Kate ending, but I pressed the wrong button. So yeah, that was hurtful. So next up, I have like, did you ever actually did it ever happen like you got actually impressed by an antagonist that you really liked an antagonist
Ooh.
like who was supposed to be an antagonist, but it's like it turned out to be like, oh well, not so bad, maybe, something like
Um,
I'm sure it has. I mean, like, if you go back right to the start, I mean, you have Becca in the freshman, who's an antagonist early on in the series, but then becomes a love interest later.
that. Yeah, yeah, I would
yeah.
say Ivy and Amy. That was a great turnaround for her.
Mm.
Really impressed me, by the way.
I mean, Olivia in the first Royal Romance. Like, I still wish they would have made her a love interest later on, and they didn't.
Yeah. Um,
What about you, Mac?
I'd say Becca, to be honest.
Yeah, I liked it too. I mean, it was between Chris and Becca in freshman. Um, for me, when Becca became a love interest, I definitely chose her.
Yeah.
Did you say you think Chris is an antagonist?
Oh yeah, like no. That I just went on off track and I mentioned like for the freshman, like Chris, I chose the love interest and then Becca.
Oh, okay. All right. I get it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Chris was an antagonist. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Nope. Very nice guy. Yeah.
I think Chris is the most boring one of the most boring love interests in the app.
And one
Yeah.
of the
He's
most
like.
forced.
Yeah. Yeah. I would
Oh, he's
agree.
definitely the most forced.
Yeah,
Other
because
than maybe Ethan. Ethan may top him.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the way freshman is, he's like the generic love interest, the cool football, guy. Says with an annoying, really, bad ex like Becca. So definitely, you know,
Hmm.
it's just like in the movies and series. So yeah, Ethan, I would say yeah, definitely. It was too much Ethan for us. Even outside of Ethan, I think there were a lot of characters that could have been love interests, like Kyra, like Ethan and our main character. We could have recreated that mentor-mentee relationship between Esme and our main character, but we lost that. We didn't even see Esme much in the book three. That was really heartening for me.
And I
Yeah.
think that's because they changed writers and the writers didn't understand the characters and then it just turned into everything Ethan.
Those the thing. Like, I just want to know what you think because I have played Open Heart Book 2. I played the Nanny Affair Book 2. Both the books are similar in terms of how they start, and both the books are similar in terms of how that we don't actually get wrapped because nobody that much significant dies. I mean, I'm not like saying Danny or the nurse was not. He was really close to us, and also Bobby the guard. But the way the first chapter scene was definitely was more personal to the main character. And the way the nanny affair scene was, you actually get the exact same thing, but the intensity was not the same in either of the books. So, what do you think? Like, is this like, are we ready to see these things happen to more books? Like, we started something and then we don't reach that actually?
Not sure on this one. Not sure what you're really asking.
Um, I'm asking like, like showing something like a glimpse of the future, like we had in Foreign Affairs, like what we were shown. That same thing happened like it's like showing something that will happen in the future and then starting like 6 months ago or something. You know what I mean? This kind of
Okay,
storytelling.
I understand what you're
Oh,
saying now. I think it's it's a hard thing because when you show like a flash forward and then have to earn your way to get there, if it's not done well, it's really underwhelming. Like if you look at Foreign Affair, like at the start they're like, "Oh, a sex scandal," and then it turns out the sex scandal is just you skinny dipping. Um, for Nanny Affair, like they show the moment where you're about to hook up with Jordan, and I mean that's great for people who don't enjoy Sam, but it still ended up being underwhelming, especially if you're all in with Sam.
That's what exactly happens. Exactly. I understand. Because that was almost cheating.
I mean, it's not
Brandon's
really.
read the
They're on a
group chat
break.
message.
Hey
Oh,
Brandon, welcome,
They
man.
were they
We're
were
waiting
they
for
were
you.
on a break.
surprise.
Somebody
Oh,
finally woke
Rachel.
up.
Someone said no.
Good morning, Brandon.
This afternoon.
Afternoon. I've told you to sleep early in the night, and then you sleep so late, almost in the morning. How are you supposed to get sleep?
Eh, had trouble sleeping. And you
Oh,
said too, so.
oh yeah. That was like I didn't know like you were going to have a daylight saving Saturday. That was
Mm,
my bad.
Bad job by the host.
It does a lot of mischief stuff anyway, so used to it.
You have a cold. Take care, buddy.
What I miss.
Yeah, we were just talking about, different kind of books and theories about choices. We're just saving the good stuff for you, the nanny affair. So,
How kind.
yep, very generous. Okay. So I think anything else to add? I again forgot. So we're getting sidetracked so much that I actually forgot what we are talking about originally. But anyway, so is there anything else to add, Mac or Eric?
No, I'm good. I mean, like we were saying with the flash forwards, they're only going to work if you actually make it worthwhile. Like, don't give me a flash forward and then say it's a sex scandal and then say it's just skinny dipping, because skinny dipping is not a sex scandal.
Oh, foreign affairs stuff. Yep. So I think let's get started with the nanny affair.